What's up? What's up? Um, I know y'all see the title, right? Countdown to World War III. Donald Trump is going to take us there? Question mark. Right? The dissension of America, well, the West in America, essentially. So, yeah. So we're gonna get into it. I don't know if we're aware of what been going on in the news. With Russia and America and everybody else, right? So, we're going to get into a little biblical prophecies and stuff to break it all down, right? And, so, yeah. So, of course, all praises to the Most High. We do so in His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, right? For the world mistakenly called Jesus Christ, right? So, yeah, so we're going to just start off, right? Let's start off with Daniel, right? Daniel chapter 4, right? Daniel chapter 4, verse 17, right? Yeah, right into it. So yeah, we gotta understand, like, God is in control of everything, right? And what we mean everything, we mean everything, like in the definition of itself, right? And we gotta keep that in mind when we see things going on and understand that, this is his movie, right? This is his, feature film, and we all just participants, actors in this whole grand scheme of things, right? So, and everything is playing out exactly how he wants it to play out, right? For his purpose, and that is to save his people at the end, right? Great action story, great drama story, great thriller, great comedy, everything, right? The Most High is the greatest movie director, screenwriter ever, right? Check it out. So Daniel 4:17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to attend to the living may know that the Most High rule in the kingdom of men and give it to whomsoever he will and set of up over the basis of men, right? So it's saying that God rules in the kingdom of man. God is in control of all this stuff, right? He raised up governments, he destroyed governments, he made countries, he destroyed countries, right? That's what he does, right? And it says, and set up over it the basis of man. So he chooses who he wants to be, top head honcho of the planet right now. And unfortunately, right now, the people that's running the planet are the basis of man, right? And we can prove that through scripture. And so then let's jump over to 35 real quick. And it says, and all this inhabitants of the earth are refuted, all the inhabitants of the earth are refuted as nothing, and he doeth according to his will in the army of heaven, right? So God does whatever he wants. There's nothing that we can do that can stop him from doing exactly what he said he was going to do, right? And there's nothing, we can stop it. There's nothing that we can, nobody can resist the will of God, right? And it says, in mine, and lift, let me start from the top. And it says, and all the inhabitants of the earth are refuted as nothing, and he doeth according to his will in the armies of heaven. And among the inhabitants of the earth, and none can say in his hand, meaning, like, once you in the Lord's hand, meaning, he's in control, full autonomy, right, of everything. And it says, and among the, let me see, according to his will, it says, and none can say in his hand, Or say unto him, what doest thou? Meaning, we can't question God and ask God, like, what are you doing? Like, what is this? What is that? Because he controls everything. We're just the actors in this greatest movie ever, right? And so people will ask the question, like, okay, if God's so omnipotent, meaning he knows everything, right? Omnipotent, omniscient, right? He's everywhere, right? Then why do certain things happen, right? Or why do this happen? Why, because, again, using the analogy of movies, right, and directors. So, look at it like this. The Most High is so in touch with his creation, right? Very in touch. That's why you can read, like, instances where you might see God angry, or you might see him happy, or or whatever the case may be. You can see him expressing different emotions throughout the scriptures. So then one will ask the question, okay, if he knows this was going to happen, that was going to happen, then why the emotions? Because he is so involved in his creation that even though he might know what's going to happen, it still pains him to see it happen, or it might excite him to see certain things happen, right? So, use an example, right? Spike Lee, very involved in his creation. How so? Because Spike Lee is so involved in his creation. You might see Spike Lee walk across the movie screen. He's in the movie. He got a part in his own movie. What's the other guy? Quentin Tarantino, very involved in his creation, right? Oftentimes he'll have himself a part in this movie, right? I was using this example of talking to a brother. I don't know how many is familiar with the cartoon Dragon Ball Z. The creator of Dragon Ball Z, right? He says his favorite character who he loves the most is Piccolo, right? And Vegeta, he hates Vegeta. He hates everything about Vegeta. He hates everything. Like how Kendrick was talking about Drake. I hate the way he talked, the way he walked, the way he dressed, right? He hates everything about Vegeta, right? So think about this. He created Dragon Ball Z. He created all those characters that we see. The personalities, what they say, all that stuff, right? He created them. But he hates Vegeta and he loves Piccolo, right? And he was telling a story in an interview where the first time he killed Piccolo, he cried because it hurt him so bad to kill Piccolo, right? So think about it, right? That's how involved the Most High is in his creation, right? He loved the children of Israel, and he hates a certain group of people, and he hates the way people treat the children of Israel, right? So, just like the creator of Dragon Ball Z is so in tune with his creation that he gets emotionally involved in it to the point where it hurts him and it upsets him when the characters die, although he ordained it and wrote it down to happen that way. That's how God is. He's very in tune with his creation. But he has to see the movie out. He has to see it out because he created it that way, right? So, I say all that to say, everything we see, God is in control of it, right? So, let's go to Micah 10 real quick. Micah 4 and 10, I'm sorry. Micah 4 and 10. It says, so, and what we're doing right now, just proving the times, right? Because I can just say anything. So we're just proving the times with the scriptures, right? So it says, be in pain and labor and bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail. For now thou shalt go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field, and shalt go even unto Babylon. there shall thou be delivered, and there the Lord shall redeem thee from the hand of thy enemies, right? So, if, we have, understanding, America is that modern day Babylon, right? Um, so, and biblical prophecy says that the children of Israel were going to be in Babylon in the last days, right? So, wherever, Babylon is, that's where the children of Israel is, right? And so we know America is nicknamed Babylon, and so and it says, I'm gonna read it again. Be in pain and labor and bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail. For now thou shalt go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field, and thou shalt even go into Babylon. There shalt thou be delivered, and the Lord shall redeem thee from the hands of thy enemy. Right? So what does that mean, right? So this is a prophecy dealing with 70 AD, when when the Romans destroyed Jerusalem, and we got exiled and expelled out of Jerusalem, and we ran into Africa, right? And other places, but majority of us ran into Africa. So we're gonna prove it though, right? So let's go jump up to Revelation, right? 'Cause, that, cause a lot of people, cause that prophecy, right? You can also see it in Revelation. I think it's Revelation 12. Right. So now look. So now in Revelation 12, John is giving the same prophecy, right? But according to certain systems that be, they translate this or not translate this. They interpret this falsely and giving people a false understanding. But we're gonna get the correct understanding. So it says, so same prophecy. It says, in an appearance, this is Revelation 12:1. And in appearance, a great woman, a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon, under her feet, under her feet, upon her head were 12 stars, right? So this woman is Israel, right? The nation of Israel. The 12 stars represent the 12 tribes of Israel, right? Then it says, and she being with child, cried in travail and birth and pain, and to be delivered, and appeared another wonder in heaven, and hold a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head, right? So this is the Roman Empire, right? The red dragon is the Roman Empire. The 7 crowns are the 7 regions, 7 provinces that Rome had, which were Germania Major, Germania Minor, Rome, Spain, France, Britannia. I'm not counting, so if I'm missing 1 or 2, I don't know. But that's just off the top of my head. But those are the 7 crowns. Then you have the 7, where it says boom, 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 boom. Then you have the 7 horns, right? And that's getting into like the sub nations that have power with Rome, right? Then it says having 7 heads. Boom, boom, boom. All right, go back. Appeared with another wonder in heaven. Behold, the great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. So it's talking about the Roman Empire, right? And so let's go back over here and get Jeremiah. Wait, hold on. Do I want that one first? Let's get Jeremiah 18, 17 and 18. So Jeremiah 17 and 18 says, let them be confounded that persecute me, but let not me be confounded. Let them be dismayed, but let not me be dismayed. Bring upon them the day of evil and destroy them with double destruction. All right, hold on. That's not good. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. I mean, that's one of them, but is it Isaiah 47? Hold on, bear with me. Hold up. I was trying to find boom. I'm gonna go to Matthew. I'm gonna go to Luke, but I was trying to find the one in Jeremiah that was connected to this one that specified like us going into the northern and west coast of Africa, because when it's but I'm gonna get it in Luke though, because Christ says the same thing. So let's go to Luke 21 and 21 real quick. So it says, so this is Luke 21 and 21. 21 and 21 says, then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter therein too. Right? So this is the prophecy when Jesus is talking to the disciples and everybody, and letting them know, like, when the Romans circle the city, if you're out of town at that time, don't come back. If you in town, get out of town, right? Then it says, flee into the mountains, right? It says, then let them which are in Judea flee into the mountains. So the mountains are in Africa, right? So we will run to the west, because that's where the mountains is, and then it says, and let them which are in the midst depart out, and let not them that are in the country enter therein too, for these are the days of vengeance, that all shall which are written may be fulfilled. Right? Then because and also too, when you read the book of Timbuktu, right? Babylon Timbuktu, it also tells you that during the expulsion of Jerusalem, like over 1 million Jews fled into west coast of Africa, right? And so we're seeing it here in Luke that Christ was giving a prophecy like, flee into the mountains, right? And so let's get back to go back to Micah. Right? Go back to 4. Right? So go to Micah 4 and 1. Right? I wish I could have found that Jeremiah verse, but would have kind of wrapped it up perfectly. But Christ said the same thing technically. So it says, but in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountains of the house of the Lord shall be established, and the top of the mountains shall be exalted above the hills, and the people shall flow unto it. So in the last days, right? So it's a prophecy talking about the last days, so can't get around it. So it says Israel is going to be on the top, and all the people are going to flow onto it, right? Pursuant to Isaiah 66 and 65, I believe, and other places. Then it says, and the Lord will establish on top of the mountain, and shall be exalted above the hills, and the people shall flow into it. And many nations shall come and say, come and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, and into the house of God, of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways, right? Because the people don't know the ways of God, right? We got a billion, gazillion religions out here, right? A million different churches, right? But the people don't know the ways of God, right? They have to be taught the ways of God. So people are involved in these things that they're involved in, and are thinking that they're doing things of God. But the Bible says that those are ways that seem right unto a man, but those ways lead into death, right? So you can feel like you're doing right, you can feel like your life is together, you got it together, but if you're not doing thus said the Lord, right? So you can be the perfect I don't know why I can't talk, the perfect Buddhist, right? Right? You be a perfect Buddhist. But if you're not doing it thus said the Lord, then it's all for nothing. You can be the perfect Christian. But if you're not doing it thus said the Lord, it can be all for nothing, right? So it says, and he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his path, for the law shall go forth out of Zion. So now, what did it just say? The law should go forth out of Zion, right? That's important. I know we're talking about something else, but just thought I'd just mention this real quick. But we have a place that people go to every weekend, and they tell us that the laws of God is done away with. But the very first line of chapter 4 says, but in the last days it shall come to pass. So it's a future prophecy that's going to be a last day prophecy. So that means we have to keep the laws of God, because in the kingdom, when the kingdom is established on earth, the people are going to come to the land of Israel and learn from the Israelites the laws of God. It said it right here. So if your pastor is telling you the laws are done away with, tell them, well, that's not what God says. Because in the future, God is going to require us to teach the laws to the other nations, right? So it says, for the law shall go forth out of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. Then, let's get there real quick. We got time. Let's get Isaiah 66 real quick. Isaiah 66 and 12. So, and it says, for thus saith the Lord, behold, I will extend peace to her like a river, and the glory of the Gentiles like a flowing stream. Right? So the glory of the Gentiles is talking about their riches, their wealth. It's going to be like a flowing stream unto the Israelites, because they're going to pay us to teach them the Bible. They're going to pay tribute to the Israelites. They're going to, for the lack of better terms, to simplify it, pay taxes, tribute to the Israelites, right? And it says, for thus saith the Lord, behold, I will extend peace to her like a river, and the her is the Israelites. We're going to finally have peace. The Black, Hispanic, and Native American people are finally going to be able to be at peace. When this Western Empire and the other Eastern Empire is taken down as well, when they're all taken down, Black, Hispanic, and Native American people and our other fellow Israelite brothers around the world is finally going to be able to have peace. Imagine waking up the next day, you wake up tomorrow with no stress, no anything I gotta do, no nothing, right? We're not gonna know what to do with ourselves. We're not gonna, with no oppression, no, I gotta do this for the kids, I gotta make sure I get to work on time, I gotta do this or do that, I gotta make sure this is paid. None of that. None of the stress that people currently have will be in that day, right? So, where am I? Boom, 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 boom. It says, "For thus saith the Lord, behold, I will extend peace to her like a river, and the glory of the Gentiles like a flowing stream. Then shall ye shall be borne upon her side, and dantle upon her knees, as one who mother comfort, so will I comfort you, and shall the comfort in Jerusalem." So it says, the glory of the Gentiles, like flowing stream, meaning they're going to be just giving us everything they got. All that stuff they ever stole from us, plus more, right? Then it says, boom, 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 boom. And it says, and then shall ye suck, ye shall be born upon her side. So he's likening us to like a baby nursing on her mother's breast, right? And so he's saying like we're going to be like, so the other nations is going to nurture us, like to the point where it's like they're going to baby us, right? And to the point all right, look, the people that call themselves Israelis, and they got the little stuff hanging from the side of their head, and a little what's that stuff called? Coaster, right? That you put your cup on. Got a little coaster sitting on the top of their head, right? Like the world, for the most of the world gives them money because they think that they are the people of the book, right? A lot of countries around the world give them millions and billions of dollars because they think that they are the people, right? So, and when you think about it, that's technically our money because they're giving it to them because they think that they are the people of the book because they done did the identity theft to the highest level and duped the whole world into thinking that they are who this book is talking about when they don't even believe what's in this book, right? They are a secular nation, right? Majority of them are atheists, right? And one of the laws of God is faith. You gotta believe, right? And if you don't follow the laws of God, you will suffer the punishments of not following the laws of God. And when you look at the punishments of the laws of God, the Black, Hispanic, and Native American people are the only people that fits under that when we read this and look at, everything in totality, right? But anywho, so then it says, alright, okay, well alright, we go back to Micah. So then, one more then too. Isaiah 2:2. Isaiah 2:2 real quick, right? So this is Isaiah 2:2. It says, "And it shall come to pass in the last days," another future prophecy, in the last days. We are in the last days, right? And we've been in the last days since the time of John the Baptist. Christ told us that, right? So how much further are we now? That's, so anywho. "And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord, the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established on the top of the mountain." So, of course, Hebraically, whenever the Bible says mountain, oftentimes it's talking about nation. So it's saying that the nation of Israel is going to sit above all the other nations, right? So it says, "And shall be established on the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and many people should go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his path. Out of Zion go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. Right? Again, we see that again. So the Gentiles are going to, in that day, after World War III, Armageddon, all that stuff, the ones that survive, they're going to, want to have, like, all right, okay, we need to get it together, right? So just go over there and just learn from the Israelites. Just go to the house of the Lord, right? And let's learn the laws. Because what just happened, this World War III stuff, this Armageddon stuff, what just took place, we can't let that happen again. So they're going to want to know, right? So then it says, and he shall judge the nations and rebuke many people, and they shall be, so they're going to have to get judged, right? Because the Bible says, he that touched the apple of his eye, God, he's going to get with him, right? So then it says, and he shall judge the nations and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into prune hooks, right? Meaning they're not going to be manufacturing weapons anymore. That's what that means. When it says they should beat their plows into their spears into prune hooks, and their swords and beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into prune hooks. Meaning they're not going to be manufacturing weapons. You're not going to have these scientists working in the lab trying to figure out how to blow up the world. Because it ain't going to be no need for that. It's going to be peace on earth, right? The ultimate deterrent, how they got the nuclear triad thing, whatever, nuclear triad agreement. So the ultimate deterrent is a black man by the name of Yahweh Shah and Mashiach, who the world calls Jesus Christ. He's going to be on the earth. And bet nobody act crazy. So that's going to bring peace on the earth, right? So, then it says, and they shall beat their spears into prong hooks, and the nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Right? So that's how it's going to be, right? In that day, right? Then it says, and he shall judge among the, all right, back to Micah 4:3. And he shall judge among the people and rebuke rebuke strong nations afar off, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into prong hooks. We just read that. Nations shall not lift up swords against nations, neither shall they learn war anymore. We just read that. But they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree. Right? And none shall make them afraid. So what does that mean? They should sit every man under their under his vine and under his fig tree. Meaning everybody in that day, everybody's going to mess with their own people. It ain't going to be this melting pot no more of stuff going on. They're going to be with who their people is. We're going to be who our people is. They're going to be where their people is. Right? And then, because people get it mixed up, right? People get it mixed up. And this might sound, unpopular to those that don't, understand, the full everything of it, right? Because when you read the Bible, right? Because everybody think that God wants this big old rainbow coalition going on here, right? Everybody holding hands and singing "We Are the World," right? All 8 billion people, hand in hand, all, how they got the little graphic where you got everybody holding hands around the globe and they covering the whole globe. That's what everybody think that's what God is on, right? People forget the story of Noah, right? They forgot that God flooded the world for people mixing, right? People forget that. People forgot that because of the Rainbow Coalition, because of the melting pot, God killed everybody on the planet except for 8 people, right? People forget that. People forget after that when the they repopulated the planet, start repopulating again, right? And they had the Tower of Babel, and they was trying to recreate what they had before, and God came down there and said, no, just put some diversity in this, just put some culture in this, just give you your own culture and language, just give you your own culture and language, let's give you your own culture and language, just do something like that, because we got to split this up, right? People forget that, right? They forget that. So it says, but they shall sit every man under his own vine and under his own fig, and none shall make them afraid, for the mouth of the Lord of the hosts has spoken, right? And why is that important like that? Because oftentimes in war, you have countries invading other countries. So it's not going to be no more, Russia going into Ukraine, or Israel, going into Gaza. Everybody's going to be wherever God told them to be at, and say, look, this is where I put you at, this is where y'all going to stay at, that's where y'all going to chill. Everybody going to do that. So there's not going to be no invading people's lands, right? Everybody's just going to be in peace. Utopia, right? And it says, for all the people will walk every one in the name of his God, right? For all the people will walk every one in the name of his God, and we, is a comma there, and we will walk in the name of Yahweh, our God, right? So basically saying that people is going to be doing what they do. They following their different gods and stuff like that. Let them do what they do, right? But we're going to follow Yahweh, right? The Most High God, right? But of course, since they're going to be following their own gods, we're going to have to teach them the one true God. That's, what Isaiah and this passage and all those other passages about. But anywho, so then it says, boom, 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 boom. In the name of our God forever and ever, in that day the Lord will assemble her that halted, and have gathered her that is driven out, and her that is afflicted, which was us. We were driven out of Jerusalem. We were kicked out 70 AD by the Romans, right? We've been afflicted over here in America and elsewhere that we've been scattered throughout the slave trade, right? So it says, and we will make her that halted a remnant, and her that was cast off far and strong, a strong nation. So God is going to take the Israelites, the remnant of the Israelites that, because the Bible says, he that overcometh to the end, shall get power over the nations. That's Revelation 2:26. So a remnant of the Israelites, hopefully we're part of that number, right? It says he's going to take and make them a great nation. So we're going to become that great, powerful nation that's going to end up ruling under the government of Christ, and fulfilling the whole promise that God gave to his servant Abraham, right? So then it says, and I will make her that halted, that halted a remnant, and her that cast out far off strong nation, and the Lord shall reign over them in Mount Zion from henceforth even forever. And thou, O and thou, O tower of flock of the stronghold of the daughter of Zion, unto thee shall it come even the first dominion, right? So what is that talking about? That's talking about the ones that is, trying not to laugh. I was thinking about something funny how to say it, but basically it ain't, it's nothing funny, but I like to be silly. But So basically, the ones that overcome, right? The first ones that partake in the first resurrection, right? Uh, the goody two shoes, right? They're gonna reign with Christ for that first 1,000 years, right? That you read about in Revelation, right? They're gonna reign with Christ for that 1,000 years. They're gonna be in joint rulership with them. Then so that's what that first dominion is, right? Then the rest of the Israelites, right, that probably died on this side of the world, right? That didn't, make it to the first resurrection, right? So through regeneration, we already went over regeneration, right? They're going to be, reborn in the kingdom, right? They're going to be in the kingdom, but they're not going to be able to see that glory and stuff of being able to be with that first dominion of the Israelites that was ruling with Christ, right? But they're going to still be an Israelite and have the benefits, but they're just not going to be taking part in that first resurrection and have that power with Christ ruling everything, right? So, but this is for, so it says, even the first dominion, the kingdom shall come to the daughter of Jerusalem, right? So, again, the kingdom of heaven is for the daughters of Jerusalem. And the kingdom of heaven is just dominionship on earth, because God promised Yahushua, who the world calls Jesus, to rule this earth, right? With the Israelites as the priests, right? So and it says, now why doest thou cry out loud, as if there's no king there? Is thy counselor punished? For things have taken thee as worms in travail. Be in pain and labor, and bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail. For now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field, and thou shalt go even unto Babylon, and there thou shalt be delivered, and there the Lord shall redeem thee from the hands which thy enemy, from the hand of thy enemy, right? So in this last prophecy, the Israelites are going to be in Babylon, right? Let's get Lamentations 4 and 12 real quick. So the Israelites is going to be in the last days. Northern kingdom and southern kingdom is going to be in Babylon. Because if you're familiar with the history of the Israelites, it was, other than the time in Egypt, we was not, oppressed together like that, right? So we all got taken into slavery different times. Like the northern kingdom got taken into slavery by the Assyrians, then the southern kingdom got taken into slavery by the Babylonians, right? So, but it wasn't at the same time. And by the time, Israel, the southern kingdom got taken into slavery, or basically by the time we get to the New Testament too, of course, the northern kingdom just everywhere, scattered. Majority of them came over here to this side of the world, and known as our so-called Native American and Hispanic brothers, right? And so yeah, but Lamentations 4 and 21. So Lamentations 4:21 says, "Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom." Right? So Edom is the biblical name of the nation, for the nation of the so-called Caucasian people, right? Because I say so-called Caucasian because they're really Edomites. In the Bible, they're known as Edomites, and they come from the nation of Edom. Although they scattered and call themselves different countries now, just like even with the 12 tribes of Israel, we're different nations now, right? So no difference. So it says, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom. that dwell in the land of Uz. The cup, the cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and thou shalt make thyself naked. Right. So what is this cup that was going to be passed to these Edomites? Right. This is the cup of wrath, God's wrath that He has, and He has. Every nation has to drink from it. And sometimes you have to drink everything that's in the cup. Maybe a nation might get a sip of it, but these people got to drink everything in the cup plus more, right? Then it says, and thou shalt be drunken and made naked, right? How are they going to be drunken and made naked? Because, and what did that mean? Meaning drunken with their philosophies, drunken with their way of life, right? Because America, you ask the average American, they think this is the greatest country ever, right? They got that song, proud to be American, at least I know I'm free, right? Go to other countries. A lot of people think this is the greatest country ever, right? Everybody want to come to America, right? And so it says, so drunken off of their way of life, their philosophies, right? Their ideology, right? Then it says, and shall be made and shall make thyself naked, meaning they're going to be exposed, right? Not naked in a physical sense, but naked meaning exposed. You're out in the open. People are going to see you for who you are, right? And that's what people are starting to do. That's what a lot of countries are starting to do. That's why a lot of countries, especially African countries and South American countries, they're dropping the American dollar, and they noticing how, okay, we allow America into our country, but we have no autonomy and no sovereignty once they get here, right? So they're looking at things that they're doing out throughout history, right? And so that's how they're being naked, right? Then let's get Revelation 17 and 16 real quick. Revelation 17 and 16. Says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, and these shall hate the whore. Right? Because you remember he's talking about the 10 horns, right? So these 10 horns are these different, this is talking about NATO here in Revelation, right? It's talking about NATO. And look, if you looking at the news, because usually when I do the countdowns to World War III, I like to have a little news article and stuff, and we go over the news article and all that cool stuff. But, shoot, we can look at the news and see what's going on, right? So NATO, right? You have, Canada and America, they're NATO members, and, they have tariff wars going on. You have countries that's not okay with America, Trump looking like he's, giving Putin a pass. It's a lot of dissension going on, right? And you have Turkey that's going to join the BRICS, and they were a part of NATO, right? So it's a lot of craziness going on, right? So it says, the 10 horns which thou see upon the beast shall hate the whore, and thou shalt make her desolate and naked, and eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. Let's talk about that nuclear arsenal that Russia got over there, that Korea got over there, that Iran is cooking up over there, right? And that Turkey and France and all those other countries that's potentially that's going to end up turning on America because they're not liking the way Donald Trump is going about things, right? And it says, and they shall burn her with fire, right? So then it says, and these shall hate the whore, right? So America in the Bible is personified as the whore, the woman that rides the beast, the whore that rides the beast, right? So look at it, right? When you can Google this, look this up. The female personification of America is Columbia, right? That's the female feminine name for America. Although you have the personification often showed as Uncle Sam, but Columbia, right? That Statue of Liberty, right? It was, also, supposed to represent Columbia, the femininity of America, right? So when the Bible likened America to the whore, we know why, because the America is known as Columbia. It's an ancient name, you know. Says so hate the whore, blah blah blah. All right, this goes back to Lamentations. So it says, and rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, and dwell in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and make thyself naked. The punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. Talking to the Israelites. So now, oftentimes, still forgot the literal, the term, how to say it when you're dealing with writings and stuff. But basically, sometimes something will be written like it's already happened, but it's going to happen, right? So it says, the punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion, and he will no more carry thee into captivity, and will visit thy iniquity, O daughter of Edom. So why did I read this? Because we're still trying to prove the times where we're at, so we can, show you what's going on, right? Why did I read this? So it says, the punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished, right? O daughter of Zion, he will no more carry thee into captivity. So the Israelites, this is being in Babylon, right? Because we read in Micah that we will be carried off into Babylon, right? I mean, in Jeremiah will be carried off into Babylon, right? So, so it's telling you that the Israelites, this is your last slavery. So the slavery that we had here in America, that's the last of the last punishment. That's then after, it's over with, right? So it says, the punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee into captivity, and he will visit thy iniquity, O daughter of Edom, right? So why is this important? Again, because the Edomites are the so-called Caucasians. And guess who had us in slavery? The so-called Caucasians. And guess what the Bible was saying? The last time the Israelites was going to be in slavery before Christ come back and redeem us is going to be under the Edomites. Then it says, O daughter, says, and he will no more carry thee into captivity. He will visit the iniquity, O daughter of Edom, and he will discover thy sins. Right? Meaning he's gonna punish this place for what they did. Right? So let's go to Daniel real quick. Go to Daniel 2. I'm gonna start. Yeah, I can start at 31. Cause like I said, we got time. So yeah, Daniel 2 and 31, right? So this is Daniel, and it's talking to Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar had the dream, so about the statue, and so the statue is a representation of different empires that's going to come into power, right? So then as you work your way down the statue until you get to the feet is the final empire, right? And so, and we just read that the Israelites in Lamentations, their final captivity before they get redeemed is going to be under the Edomites, right? And so let's check this out. So let's see what part of the statue that we fall on, right? So it says, Okay, yeah, 31. It says, Thou, O king, sawest, and behold, a great image. This is great image whose brightness was excellent and stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. This image head was of fine gold, and his breast and his arms of silver, and his belly and his head thighs of brass. Right. So describing the statue. Right. Then let's get let's jump up to 7 real quick. Daniel 7 and 6. Boom. Then it says, and I behold another like a leopard. Jump in the gun and go back. So then it says, so the image of gold, that's the Babylonian Empire. That's who Daniel is dealing with at the moment, talking to Nebuchadnezzar. That's greatest empire, right? Then it says, and his breast and his arms of silver. That's the Persian Empire, because they came after the Babylonians, right? Then it says, in his belly and his thighs of brass. That's the Greek Empire, because they came after the Greeks, right? So now we jump to 7 and 6. So it says, and after I behold, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon his back of it 4 wings of a fowl, and a breast, and also 4 wings, 4 heads, and dominion was given unto it, right? So what does this mean? It's a prophecy about Alexander the Great, because history tells us that Alexander often fought with a leopard coat on, a leopard skin coat on, right? And then he had 4 generals, and after Alexander died, those 4 generals took dominion over respective regions of the world, right? And they ruled all the way into the Roman Empire, right? So let's get back. So let's go to 8 and 8 real quick. So then it says, therefore the goat waxed great, and even he was strong, and great horn was broken. So the goat is Alexander, right? And it says the goat and the horn was broken, and for it came 4 notable ones towards the 4 winds of heaven. So Alexander the Great died. Anybody can Google this. Alexander the Great died. When he died, his 4 generals, they took over different parts of the world, and they went to war somewhat with each other for dominance, and that's just how it was. So it says, therefore the goat waxed very great, and he became strong in it, and the horns was broken. So Alexander died because he was that horned, and he died. And for it came 4 notable ones towards the 4 winds of heaven. So when you look at those 4 generals' empires, you can see the different parts of the world that they ruled, right? Let's go back. Boom. Then so then it says, in his legs of iron, and his feet of part clay. So the legs of iron is the Roman Empire. Then it says, and his feet of iron and part clay. The feet of iron is the American Empire. The feet of iron and part clay is the American Empire, because along with the American Empire with NATO, right? So, in the EU. So, and the reason why it's iron mixed with clay, because, of course, iron and clay can't mix it together. Meaning they're not as strong. They're not strong, right? They're not together. And we can look at the news and see how splintered they are, right? We can look at the House and the Republican and see how divided they are. We can look at the nation itself and see how divided they are, right? So it says, and thus thou sawest until that the stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon the feet that were iron and clay, break them into pieces. So it's a stone cut out, and it smote the image that was at the feet which is the final empire that's going to be ruling when Christ come back. So the stone is Christ, right? And this is when Yahweh